Hi there. Welcome to Imagine Your Feelings as Goals. So this is part of the Design Your Best Life series. So let's get right to it. So imagining your feelings as goals. So once you have selected 3 to 5 unmet feelings, which we did in the last exercise, I invite you to now really move in and connect to those feelings. So the next step is to see how your life would appear to have those feelings present all the time. It'll help you project onto the screen of your future life, your present and future life. What is it that you would create and do in order to fill those feelings? So rather than starting with our goals and then getting to feelings, we start with feelings and then get to the goals. And the reason is because if you aren't really clear about how you want to feel on the journey you're taking, then your journey will not be filled with the feelings you want. They'll be filled with other feelings, probably unconscious feelings that don't promote you to feel actually the way your best self is designed to help you feel. So have you ever worked really hard on a project or a goal or achieved something great, but you never really felt the satisfaction from it? So you lost the weight, but you still felt not so great about yourself. You got the promotion, but you still hated your job. Or you ran the race, but the accomplishment was so fleeting. You increased your savings, but you still felt poor. Right? You said, oh, I want to save $1,000, and you did it, but now you say like, now when you want to save another $1,000, you still don't feel abundant. I still don't feel worthy. Still don't feel safe, right? I still don't feel sexy or fulfilled or powerful, right? I still don't feel that way, even though I did the thing that I thought would make me feel the thing. So this is because we're seduced by the belief that the world, the external world, and its objects and accomplishments are what makes us happy. But the true architecture of our human experience isn't like that. Now, this is kind of getting out there, but here you are right now sitting in a room. How you feel, the only thing you can feel is what's inside of you, right? You might be sitting in a room and the world around you appears to be there and affecting you, but you can't feel the room. You only feel what's inside you and your response to what's in the room, right? You can't actually get inside and feel the other person that's in your life, right? You feel inside yourself, your experience of them. So we experience everything through our feeling world, everything. The cool car, the great date, the beautiful sunset. We actually can't go into the sunset. It's not the actual sunset that makes us feel great. It's how we feel inside and our ability to reflect upon the sunset and our feelings that we create within ourselves. That's what the experience is. We see the cute guy inside of ourselves. It's not the cute guy and his cuteness that actually makes us feel good. It's our inner feeling response to it. And the riches of your life will unfold if you start to focus more attention on your inner world experience and how to play with your outer world experience, how you can choose to say, I'm going to go and create this experience and create an inner world experience outside of it. So here's what we want to do today is we want to help you move into seeing what your feelings as goals look like. And we're going to know consciously that the truth is what you want to do is feel something. And that the goal is just a reflection of that feeling. You're going to choose to go into the world to create a feeling, but you're going to build on an experience that allows you to feel that feeling. You're not going to create the thing hoping to have the feeling which you never have. So let's get this party started. So of your 5 desired feelings from the last exercise, select 3 desired feelings, unmet feelings you long to feel more regularly in your life. And get 3 pieces of paper. So here on the screen you can see feeling 1, feeling 2, feeling 3. Okay? And so in my blog about this, I I wrote about wanting to feel engaged, wholehearted, and worthy. So I would have written at the top of here, engaged, wholehearted, and worthy. So go ahead and do that now. So now what you're going to ask yourself is, what would it look like for you to feel this feeling, whatever you wrote down for feeling 1, what would it look like for you to feel this feeling today? Okay, and now you're going to imagine experiences that would allow you to feel this feeling, where you're saying, I'm going to play in the external world and create experiences that will allow me to activate those feelings in my body throughout the day. So I'm going to just share from the blog a little bit about what I wrote. So for myself, I said that looking at the feeling of feeling engaged. Engaged is a big word for me this year in 2020. So today, the way I could do that is I could write a blog on a topic I love, because that experience helps me feel engaged. And I would have to really be setting the tone that when I sit down to write, that the feeling I'm feeling as I'm writing is engaged. And if I stop feeling engaged as I'm writing, then I need to stop doing the action, because that's the purpose, is for me to feel engaged. I might plan my day giving me blocks of time where I can engage and focus on a specific project or activity. So I love projects. I love to sink my teeth into something. So I might look at my calendar today and actually build in, okay, today from 3 to 4, I am going to build a video on creating feelings and goals, right? So right now I'm getting to feel engaged. This is me living what we're talking about right now. Another thing I could choose to do in my day is taking a walk and soaking in the majesty of my outdoor surroundings. So feeling totally engaged in the outer world, feeling engaged in the sun, feeling engaged in the sight of the trees and the leaves, feeling engaged in the sounds of the birds, feeling engaged in the color of the sky, feeling engaged. Okay, so this could be something I choose to do today. Feeling fully present while meeting with my team. So going in and having a meeting on whatever topic. Today I was having a topic with my team about finishing unbilled tasks. Okay, so even unbilled tasks, right, which are not necessarily the topics I would normally want to talk about, because we want all of our tasks to be billed. But let's assume for a second that I choose to feel engaged and connected to my team so we can move forward as I talk about with them unbilled hours. Okay? So I want you to write down for yourself, for each one of these, ways that you, 2 or 3 ways that you today could create these experiences, specific actions that you're going to do as a way to activate the feeling. Push pause, and then when you're done, come back. All right, now we're on to how would it look for you to feel this feeling in 1 year? Okay, so for myself, how would it look for me to feel a feeling? Imagine that I'm feeling engaged. It's my feeling I'm focused on and I'm describing to you. I'm imagining every day feeling engaged. Every day waking up and asking, today, how am I going to feel engaged? What can I do to feel engaged? And then if I did that for a full year and I expanded my consciousness into it and I allowed that feeling of engagement to actually nurture and grow and transform me, allow me to expand into a brighter version of myself, a more actualized version of myself, then what I might find is that perhaps over a year's time, I might have written as many as 100 articles. I might have even written the draft for a book. I might have hosted a series of innovation roundtables, bringing together teammates, all of you from the field, and learning what really, really, really lights you up and helps you do your job best. After a full year, I could be out in the world touching and and connecting with each patient. After a full year, I could have gone out and visited 30 patients, 50 patients, and felt engaged and connected to each of those patients. I could have written dozens of thank you cards and feel connected to each of the people I write to out into the field. I could have created connections and engagement with dozens of people every month. So these are some ways that 1 year from now, my life could look different. These are goals, right? That are coming from my desired feeling, and they're leading me into the future. So go ahead and write down 2 or 3 or 4 things that you see that you could create in the next year that would be an extension of this feeling. Push pause and come back when you're ready for the next step. All right, so now we are on to what would it look like in 5 years for you to be manifesting and actualizing and engaging in this feeling. Okay, so engaged for me, right? 5 years from now. Okay, wow. I'm out there engaged and connecting to patients and families in a consistent and powerful way. Illume is known now for being a place where nurses, care providers, and others devoted to an exemplary customer service long to work. We are a huge team of over 500 employees, all longing to deliver remarkable care, all coming from my desire to engage, to feel engaged. Another goal that I see, members of the team regularly report that they have a better life having worked with Illume. I get to see that happening, I get to experience that, and I get to have that land in my heart. An extension of my desire to feel engaged is the presence in 5 years of an online employee hub, a cultural hub, a remarkable hub where our team provides support, encouragement, engagement, enrichment to each other. That's an example of what I could see happening in 5 years. So now I invite you to take your time to look through these 3 feelings and write out what it would look like for you to manifest these feelings over the next 5 years, writing them in the form of outcomes, goals. And once you're done with that, the next step is to really stop and see. So we went from we're looking into the future, and now we want to come back into the present. And now we want to look and see what stops you from feeling these specific feelings. Because oftentimes our feelings are the product of our habits. They're a product of our choices. They're a product of the way that we tend to do things or certain behaviors or activities that lead us to feeling something other than what we desire. We're creating different feelings. So maybe if I want to feel engaged, so I'm not feeling engaged until I'm feeling disengaged, I'm feeling disconnected, I'm feeling at moments bored or even overwhelmed, stressed, right? Frenzied, trying to work in order to get stuff done. And so that is a very different feeling than feeling wholeheartedly engaged in whatever it is I'm doing. So I need to look for things that keep me from feeling engaged. I need to identify things that might turn off my engaged switch and turn on one of these other disempowered switches. It could be things like not setting up my calendar properly. It could be spending too much time in my email and not staying focused on what's most important in my day. It could be allowing to fall out of my lips complaints, blaming, excuses. Anytime I let myself say things like, oh, I wish I had, or I should have, or someone else should have, or I couldn't because I feel disengaged. I feel disempowered. I feel yucky, rotten, right? So I choose to let go of those behaviors in exchange for feeling engaged, feeling like I can. So take a moment and write down, I challenge you to write down 5 things for each feeling that you would need to give up in order to create more space to feel these feelings you choose. So look for the thoughts that you have that lead you away from feeling that feeling. Right? If you're having the thought, let's say you want to feel worthy and you keep having the thought, I'm not good enough. You got to give up that thought, my friend. Right? Let's say you want to feel lovable and you have a behavior where you disengage whenever you get hurt. You got to give up that behavior. You got to give up that behavior that's keeping you from feeling love, disengaging from the ones who love you. Okay, so look to see what are the thoughts, the actions, the habits. Maybe you have a habit where every day you come home and you watch 3 hours of television and it's keeping you from feeling connected to the person sitting next to you. Maybe you want to feel connected, or you want to feel important or special, and you can't feel important or special when you're watching Netflix for 3 hours. Okay, so bust yourself. Write down 3 to 5 things that you're going to give up that keep you from feeling the feelings you want to feel. Okay, so imagining your feelings as goals, seeing what they look like so you can be clear and activate them in the world, so your brain actually needs to know what it looks like to feel engaged or worthy or empowered or lovable or whatever your feeling is. It needs an actual reminder of what it looks like to do that. If you let it go and just think it's going to someday come to you, you won't. You'll keep creating more of the same, because what you're creating now is mostly unconscious, and because most of the time we spend 95% of our time unconscious. If you want to start to have a new experience, you have to awaken it and activate your brain, activate your being, so that you can create those experiences. So as you did this just now, you activated your best self. You provided a recipe for where you want to go. You're pointing yourself in the direction of your purpose. You gave yourself clarity, and you're informing yourself of what to do and who to be right now. That's pretty cool. All right, that's it for now. We're going to go on to the next step. In the meantime, go make the world a better place.